Hello, this is Mystic Rider, and welcome to another episode of CoasterFaQs Reacts, a series where we look at upcoming roller coasters, rides, and attractions. Now, for this episode, well, before I get into the episode, I want just like my last video on Tumbili at Dominion. I apologize for how late these videos are coming out. Again, just life got ahead of me, and I just didn't have time for the channel. So, but on that note, let's get into this episode, which is going to be on Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger at the B&M Dive Coaster going to Six Flags Great Adventure. Now, this coaster, I also, just like the last one, I do have a few things I would like to discuss about this one at the end after we look at the coaster itself, but the big thing is related to its one of its signature element, which is its 95-degree drop, which is 142 foot tall. The coaster itself is going to be 150 foot and is going to go 60 miles an hour and have just over 2,500 foot drive, 2,501 if you really want to get precise. Alright, so it's going to be a more medium-sized dive coaster. There are some that are smaller than it, and there are some that are a lot bigger than it. Look at like Valraven at Cedar Point or Yukon Striker at Canada's Wonderland. And this thing is in terms of stats. So its stats are the only thing that's impressive about its stats is that the fact that it has a 95-degree drop, which is the steepest B&M has ever gone. On which, I'd like to discuss that a little bit more near the end of the video. So, and on that note, let's get into the coaster. It's the video itself. The video is by El Toro Ryan, and on that note, here we go. Okay. Okay, wow. I must say, that was an interesting ride. It was definitely seems like it's going to be a lot more forceful than I anticipated. There looks like there's going to be a lot of pretty strong positive Gs. Now, it does, aside from that 95-degree drop, again, the first half is the same as every single dive coaster out there. The only difference that I can see also on it is that there's no major turnaround at the station. It's just a small left turn after you leave the station up the lift hill. So, but ultimately, it looks like it is going. The first half is the same, pretty much the same as every other most dive coasters out there. Again, except for the fact that there's a 95-degree drop. And then after that, it looks like for the first little bit, it does follow a similar path to the second half of Valraven, where you go again, with the exception of it being an implement instead of a dive loop, like the second half of Valraven, you go into that 270-degree roll, or it looked like it could be either a roll, 0G. I think it's supposed to be a 0G roll. Well, it looks like it's a similar experience to what's on Valraven. And so, but it looks like it's going to be a lot faster and more forceful than what Valraven has. So, I'm actually a little excited to see how this ends up. And now as for the last little bit where it's just a couple of helixes, that's nothing. That looks like it's just going to be a little forceful. But another note I want to just make with the animated POV, it looked like it was going to be a little more jerky as well. I don't know if that was just the effects of the software or someone just messed up somewhere in the animation or what. But it does. If that is true, it might also be not just a forceful coaster in terms of just how strong some of the physical, but it's also going to have. Maybe also have some fairly quick transitions in between different types of Gs. So it's definitely going to be a crazier roller coaster, crazier one of the dive coasters. Basically, small but mighty is the best way to put it. Now now again, relating to that 95-degree drop, the big thing is that I'm really wondering is what took B&M so long to go beyond vertical, because memory serves me right, the first B&M dive coaster, which it was Oblivion at Alton Towers, built back in 1998, if I remember correctly, it was the first, not only the first dive coaster, but it was also the first coaster to go vertical. Now, my big thing is, what took them so long to go past vertical? With them being the first to go vertical, I would say it would have been fairly easy for them to go beyond vertical once that started becoming a big thing, with other manufacturers like B&M and Gerstlauer in particular having many coasters that go beyond vertical. Well, so really, what took them so long? Was it just a simple fact that no one, with dive coasters, no one was interested in a beyond vertical dive, or was there some sort of technological barrier? I really don't know what is. Leave it in the comments on what you think. And that also brings me to a second thing I like to try to discuss with B&M doing other dive coasters beyond vertical. You guys think it also would be possible for them to to build beyond vertical, go even steeper, like not 95, beyond 95, like going 100, maybe even 110 degrees. I personally I think it is likely that you could potentially see dive coasters that are just as steep, if not steeper, than Dr. Diabolical. I mean, are you going to see some as steep as Shellraiser or Takabisha? Probably not, because that's steep. When you get that steep, just my knowledge of engineering knowledge that I just got, when you go that steep, there's a lot of engineering issues that you got to work around with supporting the track at that angle. So it's very unlikely they'll probably go that steep, but I think it might be plausible for them to go steeper, like maybe 105 degrees. In my opinion, is probably the steepest that they probably would go. Any steeper than that, and like I said, you run into those engineering, those design issues that with dealing with such extreme angles. Let me again leave it in the comments what you guys think about B&M going just as building others that are just as steep, if not steeper, than Dr. Diabolical, and as well as if you feel like it, just say what you guys think. How steep do you guys think they could probably go? B&M could go with their dive coaster without do it. Well, just how steep you guys think they might go with their dive coaster in the future. And on that note, this is the Mystic Rider, and I'll see you next time.